So basically I've already drawn my basic block pattern, but this part and this part is not enough, so I will have to draw an extra allowance here when I'm transferring it to my fabric. I'm going to add ½ inch allowance here and ½ inch allowance over here. This is our bust line and this is our under bust line. If you'd like me to do a video on how I drew this basic block pattern, let me know in the comment section below. So this is the net I'll be using for this video. I actually got 10 yards of this. As you can see, it's very long. This is the lace I'll be using for the hand and the belt of the bridal robe. Bust measurement we're using is going to be 37, and 37 divided by 2 is 18.5. We are going to divide that measurement by 2 again, is 9.2. So we're going to mark 9.2 over here, and then we're going to go to the underbox. The underbox measurement we are working with is 34. 34 divided by 2 is 17, and divided by 2 is 8.5. So we're going to mark our measurement here, 8.5. We are also going to give this pattern a 2 inches allowance. So I'm going to mark 2 inches over here, just because we won't really know the body size that would be wearing this. And this part we are doing right here is for the back. So after doing that, we are going to draw a straight line down, and this is what it looks like. Since this is for the back, we are going to be drawing another line here because this is going to be too much. We are going to take one and a half inches over here, and I'm going to draw a line over it. This is what our new curve is looking like, and I went back to draw a new line with my marker so it would be clear enough. So we are going to cut out this, and this is going to be for the back of the bridal robe. This is what my pattern is looking like after cutting it out. I went ahead to add ½ inches sewing allowance over here, and I will be doing the same thing over at this bottom part as well. So that is this to cut the front, and I'll be cutting 2 out of that as well. So guys, after drawing the first pattern to cut the pattern for the front, I went ahead to trace out the pattern we used for the back for the front. But as you can see, I added a few inches allowance just because I will be cutting out a deep V at the front. That was why I left that allowance. So I'm going to be transferring every other thing on the back pattern to the front pattern. As you can see right now, I have already done that. So guys, after doing that, I am going to be adding ½ inch allowance at the top, and at the bottom part that you can see, I've already added my ½ inch allowance. So after doing that, I am going to be placing my ruler on top of the shoulder and slanting it to the bottom just to create an effect for my deep V. You're going to see me doing that right now. So guys, after making my line, I'm going to be cutting that out. So I'm going to be showing you what exactly I'll be cutting out. I'm going to cut out that pattern, as you can see. Seeing that this is what we are working with, as you can see. And we also have this pattern for the back. I'm going to be cutting out 2 of this, and I'm going to be cutting out two of this. That is, we're going to have 4 of this in total and 2 of this. So right now I have used my pattern to cut the net. I don't know if you can see that because it's very invisible. This is the one for the front, and this is the one for the back. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to cut another one of this, and I'm going to cut two more of this as my lining. Now I just want to show you how I cut. I placed the other one down here and I pinned it down with some pin just so they don't go anywhere, because I'm cutting outside and as you can see the breeze is blowing it back. But so I pinned it down and I'm going to cut it out. Looking like after I cut it out, as you can see, there are two nets here. The one is for the material and one is for the lining. So I'm going to do the next second. I'm going to do the same thing for the next one. So right now I'm done cutting out the other one. Right now we have one, two, three. We have three of this, and this is the fourth one for this. And for this one, we have two of this, which is six. So this is what we are going to be working with. Now with the pin on it, I'm going to be sewing here. I don't know if you can see, I'm going to be sewing the neckline, and I'm going to be sewing here and also here. And when I'm done, I'll come back to show you the final result of what it looks like. So after sewing the edges, this is what it looks like. And if you're going to, I'm going to press this with iron. When you're doing this, please be very careful not to burn this because this material is very light. This is what the front is looking like now. And as you can see, I sewed this part. I'm going to be showing you why I did that right now. This is the part I sewed, and I'm just going to drag this just to create an effect. So this is what it's looking like after dragging this, and I'm going to do the same thing for this one as well. So I'm doing the second one. I'm just going to drag this, as you can see. So after dragging this is what they look like now. Right now I added the back part on top of the other one, and I'm going to be joining them at the top. And what I'm going to be doing here is I'm going to be opening this part, placing it like this so they'll be facing each other. Can you see that? Let me show you again. This is what it looks like. So you're going to be putting this in the middle and you're going to close it like this, and you're going to sew at the top, doing here and doing this part. After joining the top, this is what it looks like. So now I'm going to use the measurement I have and know my measurements and sew these places down, and we'll move on to sewing the hand. This here, after squeezing this at the back, there's still allowance here, so we are going to cut off the excess, and we are going to cut off this excess, and I'm going to cut off the excess for this part as well. After joining the sides, this is what it would look like, but for a cleaner effect you'll have to hold this place properly and press it, and do the same for the sides and every other place. Press it nicely. So now we are going to be doing our hand, and to get our hand we are going to have to measure this. So I'm going to place my tape all the way up, and you can see this is what I got, 10. So 10 into 2 is going to be 20. So our armhole is going to be 20. So guys, for the arm, the width of the net you're seeing right now is 54 inches and the length is 18 inches. I'll be adding that 18 inches with a 6 inches lace that I'll be adding to the hand. So I'm going to be putting this material on fold right now, just to make sure everything is looking okay. And this is the lace I was telling you about. I cut them out equally 6 inches, and the width will depend on how it will depend on the measurements you have. And also, if I had a complete lace, because the lace I was using for this video was not really full, it was just the pieces I found around the house and I made use of, so it didn't have the lace mouth. If it had the lace mouth, I would have just made use of that part and it will look very nice. So I'm just going to weave the bottom part of the lace mouth just so it is neat. I don't want to fold it. So right now I am opening my lace. My net rather. I'm going to be sewing the bottom part and the top part of my net, and I'll come back. So after sewing this lace, this is what it looks like, and this is what it looks like over at the top. So what we're going to do right now, we're going to be doing what we did the first time. We're dragging this, so we are just going to keep dragging it till we get to the length we took at the arm area. So when you continue with this is what you will get as your final result. This is what it will look like. And mind you, don't cut this thread until you're done with whatever you're doing. So this is what you will have. At the top we have 20 inches at the top here, and at the bottom we have 14 inches round. So this is what it looks like. Now what we are going to be doing, we're going to add this at the bottom. This is what we are going to do. We're going to add this at the bottom here. So I'm going to do that and you're going to see what it looks like. So now to sew there, you're going to hold this together till the end, and you're going to sew like so. You're going to sew to the end, and when you do that, this is what you'll get. And sew it to the top. So this is what it looks like now. So this is what our arm is looking like. So now we are going to put this part and attach it to the blouse. This is our armhole. Can you see? This is our armhole, and this is our hand. So we're going to place it here. We're going to place it here, and we're going to hold it out like this and sew it around. So this is what it looks like after fixing the hand. This is what it looks like. Bottom parts, we are going to be taking the total measurement we have here. And this is what we have. We have 39 inches after taking the total bottom measurement. So that is what we'll be working with. Our net, and from here to this part is by 70. So I'm not going to be cutting it. I'm going to be using the total net. So we're going to be doing what we did for the arm. We are going to sew, we are going to sew from this part down to the end, and this is like, can you see? there's a lot of net we are going to be working with, so we are going to be sewing it down to the very end. I'm going to do that and come back to show you what it looks like. So if you don't have enough thread while you're sewing, you're going to be having breakings, and that actually happens. And if you don't sew it properly, sometimes too, you're going to have cutouts. So that actually happens to me somewhere. Look at it over here. If you can look closely, the camera is not focusing on it, but if you can look closely, you see that the thread here broke. So very big. So right now I'm just dragging the thread, notwithstanding what happened to the fabric. I'm dragging it till it reaches the length I want. Now before you join this part to the bottom part, make sure you fold this part. You can choose to weave it down this edge. Can you see that? You can choose to weave it down, or you can choose to fold it. So you fold it like this, and this is what it would look like when you fold it. So I'm going to do that before joining this part to the bottom part. So when you're joining it, you're going to put this part like this and this part like this. This is what it would look like. So you hold it like that and sew it down to the very end. So I'm going to do that and show you the. So after sewing it, you should have something like this. Can you see that? So because my materials were not long enough, I had to cut them into pieces and join them together. So this is 1 2 3 4 5. So I'm going to be joining them together. I will align them like this. As you can see, this part is not even, so when I'm sewing, I'm going to take it like this and I'm going to sew it down. So I cut off that part that was not equal. Can you see that? So I'm going to sew it like this, and that is what I will do for the rest of them until they are one. So after joining them together, this is what they look like. Can you see that? This is where they meet. So this is what it looks like after joining it together.
Alright guys, this is what the finished look looks like. This is what the bridal robe looks like. I hope you enjoyed watching this video as I did making it. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Turn on the notification bar so you'll be notified whenever I upload a new video. I upload new videos every Wednesday and Friday, so stay tuned for all my videos. Thank you so much. See you on my next video. Bye.